I was now determined to fight this convoluted method of dealing with educators. This process of having my job dangled in front of me has been both emotionally taxing and professionally degrading, but more importantly, has stripped services and resources away from our most precious asset, the children. We as a community need to continue to band together and fight for our students' needs. That's exactly what I've decided to do, and all of you are doing today through your presence at this march. In a recent interview, a leading educational leader was quoted as saying, "No one has laid off the children. The children are still going to show up on the first day of school. We need to make sure that our students will be arriving to fully staffed schools." Earlier today at French Immersion School and at rallies all across the nation, simulations have been conducted to show the devastating consequences that larger class sizes will have on our children. Now, as much as I'm confident that I and many other educators can handle 50 students in a classroom, I'm not sure that the question is, can 50 students succeed with just one teacher? And I'm not so confident in that answer. One of the reasons we have public education in our country is to provide every child an equal opportunity to succeed. As the current situation stands, that ideal is in peril. The layoffs have profoundly jarred my life in ways unimaginable, but as much trauma as it has caused me and every other educator affected, it will be even worse for the students in those classrooms. Our public educational structure is in crisis today. It appears the only conclusions drawn by those pulling the strings have been to slash school budgets, punishing our students, parents, teachers, and communities. Why are these partners the last to be included in dialogue to help make our public schools more competitive? Fortunately for our district, we have fresh leadership in the recent hiring of School Superintendent Gregory Thornton. I'm impressed with some of his early actions, including the recall of 89 teachers. These are positive steps, but I'm sure, as even he would admit, more needs to be done. He recently stated that our employees, other than children, are our most important asset. His fresh approaches have already involved listening to teachers, students, and parents when looking to the future of our schools. I think these are positive developments, and I hope that he will solicit ideas from the people most directly in contact with the students and the system. Today, all of us need to go home and make the phone calls and emails needed to bring change, because believe me, they're listening. Getting 89 teachers recalled last week came through previous agitation. I have no doubt of that. The Wall Street Journal recently wrote an article on previous rallies this summer, so they're listening too. Days after I was recalled, a Fox News national reporter called and wanted me to interview with him. So they're noticing this movement too. But we need to agitate more. The Senate has considered several recent bills that would provide emergency funding for public schools. So make sure that you get the handout that has all of our local, national, and state politicians' numbers on it, because we need to lobby them to pass the bill. The bill came up today. It's in a Medicaid bill, and it'll be before the Senate floor on Monday. We need to flood Herb Kohl and Senator Feingold's offices with calls. We need that bill passed. Thank you. I also want to introduce somebody who was fortunate enough to be recalled. It's a good friend of mine as well as a teacher. We both graduated together from UWM. Charles Weisvichel.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Let me ask a question. How many of you have been touched by one teacher in your life? How many have been touched by two? 3, 4, 5, 10. I've been touched by hundreds in my lifetime. I grew up here in Milwaukee, in the inner city. Here's my little guy come to say hi. I have a talent. My talent is to give back to these kids all the experiences that I went through in my life. I believe I was made and put on this earth to teach the kids who are unfortunate to be in situations that are not in their control. I took my group of kids, 5th graders, my students. I call them my kids because they are my kids. I have a whole bunch of kids, tons. I love them. They're all little. I don't know what I'd do without them. 5th grade last year, we took our WKCE test. We had 6 kids proficient out of 29. I was lucky enough to loop with those students. In 6th grade, we had 22 out of 27 passing their WKCE. Without you, without people like myself, there's going to be a lot of other students and children in our community that are going to fall through the loopholes and end up in unfortunate situations. We need to get more funding from our government to make sure that our kids have a future. There is no future without a teacher. Don't want to hurt Elmo. I ask you all to take 5-10 minutes out of your time and please make those phone calls. Get your neighbors to make those phone calls. Post it on your Facebook, your MySpace, anywhere you can, and get those numbers out and get those calls in. Thank you very much.